I hope I pronounced all of that correctly. Oh my god, otherwise I'll look like a snob.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Kaavko. Today we talk about one of literature's most important figures, Franz Kafka, a man with great impact. He was born in 1883 and was one of six children. He was diagnosed with TB in 1917 and subsequently died due to it in 1924. Kafka suffered a lot of self-image issues throughout his life. Funnily enough, that was not at all in line with what most people thought of him after they'd met him. Kafka was engaged four times throughout his life but never married any one of them, and he used to frequent brothels throughout his adult life. He had a multitude of partners. Now, before you call him a womanizer, just read about it. It's really not what you think. Growing up, he also had a very complicated relationship with his father, and somewhere all of these elements of his life got together and made their way into his writing and truly left an impact. Despite all of this, like many great artists of their time, Kafka died relatively unknown, but he was okay with that. Post his death, despite his wishes of all his work be destroyed, Rod, a close friend of his, published all of his work. Now that is when, after his death, Kafka rapidly rose in fame and recognition, especially after World War II. That's when his writing truly created an impact. Think surreal situations, protagonists trapped in bizarre predicaments, heavy dose of alienation, and commentary about capitalism. That's the essence of Kafka. But to truly understand his work, we need to take a look at the man himself. So without further ado, let's dive in. Franz Kafka was born in Prague. At the time, it was the second major capital of the Austrian Empire, and that's exactly where things get a little complicated. From a Czech perspective, he was a German speaking author in Prague. From a German perspective, he was a Jewish man living in Bohemia. Raised primarily as an Austrian, his identity was a unique blend of these cultures. This unique upbringing in a city with its own cultural tensions probably played a major role in one of Kafka's most recurring themes, human alienation. Despite being caught in this friction, Kafka wasn't really a religious person growing up, and he stopped his religious readings after his bar mitzvah. As per my reading, he only went to the synagogue four times with his father, and that too on high holidays. That's it. This scenario, however, completely changed when in 1911 Kafka saw a Yiddish theatre troupe perform. Fascinated, he jumped into Yiddish literature and made him dig even deeper into his Jewish heritage. And Yiddish literature was just a drop in the ocean. Kafka was an avid reader throughout his life. Together, he and Brod, a very close friend, read Plato's Protagoras in the original Greek, Gustavo Flaubert's La Educación Sentimentale, and La Tentation de Saint-Antoine in French. Kafka, a clearly well-read man, considered the likes of Fyodor Dostoevsky, Flaubert, and Nikolai Gogol to be his true blood brothers and really was fond of them. His external circumstances weren't the only reason or source of his internal turmoil. Franz Kafka had a notoriously difficult relationship with his authoritarian father, Hermann Kafka. Daddy issues! This power dynamic, this feeling of being constantly judged and being inadequate, bled into his writing. His famous letters to his father, though never actually sent, is a very powerful testament to the strained relationship that they shared and speaks volumes of the themes of power and submission that often appear in his novels. Beyond his father, Kafka also dealt with deep-seated self-doubt and insecurity. He often felt like an outsider in his own life, a feeling that his protagonists eerily echo. He also held various jobs in bureaucratic settings and experiences that undoubtedly fueled the nightmarish and illogical systems that
his protagonists usually found themselves trapped within. Adding to his struggles, Kafka faced a lot of health issues, especially tuberculosis, that claimed his life at a relatively younger age. I think that constantly living in this sense of mortality likely influenced the often dark and introspective themes about life in his books. Let's not forget about the complex relationships which often mirrored the themes of, alienation and a sense of yearning for that connection that remained just out of reach. Now, how did all of these experiences translate into his groundbreaking writing style? What makes something truly Kafkaesque? Well, for starters, there's surrealism and the absurd. Kafka throws his characters into dreamlike, illogical situations without much explanation, forcing them and us, the readers, to think about and grapple with the inherent meaninglessness of all of it. Then there is the strong undercurrent of existentialism. His characters are often seen feeling very isolated, grappling with their place in this world, trying to figure out their purpose in a seemingly indifferent world. As mentioned earlier, the themes of bureaucracy and the inherent powerlessness in those systems is also incredibly prominent in his work. His protagonists often found themselves in situations where they are still worrying about their deadlines and the reaction of their bosses, despite the extremely serious, severe, and bizarre situations they find themselves in. I believe that Kafka truly recognized the importance that humans give to these jail like jobs, despite their futility. Nothing fulfilling, you're just a rotating cog in a larger system. What's fascinating is that even amidst these bizarre and extremely unsettling scenarios, Kafka's prose is perfectly precise and detached. What I mean by that is that he explains everything in perfect detail and there is no commentary on it, it is just a narration. Clear, almost clinical writing style not only enhances the situation but amplifies the strangeness of the events, creating a truly unique experience while you're reading those books. So, why is Kafka considered a literary giant? His work broke new ground, exploring themes and writing styles that were never done before his time. A truly unique reading experience. He paved the way for upcoming countless writers that also grappled with familiar feelings of alienation and the absurdism of it all and the individual struggles and fights against larger forces that were totally out of their control. Think about the existentialist works of Albert Camus or Jean Paul, or even the magical realm of Gabriel Marquez. All of these you will see echoes of Kafka's essence. His work continues to resonate today because, let's face it, these feelings of alienation and powerlessness in this complex world are still very essential and prominent part of human lives and the overall human experience, more so now than ever before, I think. So, have you read any of Kafka's works or writings? What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments below. If you found this video insightful and learned something, hit that like button and follow along for more such videos.